Okay, hello everyone, and thank you for joining us today for our Master of Business Analytic current student panel. During today's session, we have at least one current student, Catherine, who will share her experiences in the MSBA program. We also do have another panelist that hopefully will be joining us as well. We are also joined by our graduate admissions advisor, Meg Worth, who will be managing the chat. So if you've got questions, feel free to answer or ask those in the chat. I believe our second panelist has just arrived. Excellent. So again, yeah, please type your questions into the chat box and we will address them as time permits. And we do thank you for those of you who actually put your questions in with your registration. So thank you very much. As you can see, we are also recording this session and we will share it with everyone that has registered within 1 week. So thank you so much for joining us today. And thank you to our current student panelists. And I'd like to ask each of them to introduce themselves. So I'm going to have Catherine introduce yourself first. Just say your name, a little bit about yourself, and then Badha will have you go next.
All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Catherine. I am a current MSBA student here at University of Buffalo. I'm originally from Rochester, New York, and then I did my undergrad in business analytics and management information systems from SUNY Binghamton. So I'm kind of hopping from one SUNY to another, but absolutely loving Buffalo right now. And I'm excited to answer some of your guys' questions.
Excellent. Go ahead and have.
I think I should go next. Hi everyone, I'm Madhav. I'm current student of Masters in Business Analytics over here at University of Buffalo. I'm originally from India and I've just transitioned over here last semester, somewhere in July. Feels so long ago, but yeah, I'm really excited to answer all of it. If you have any questions for me, looking forward to it.
All right, excellent. Thank you so much. So we are going to start off with some program-specific questions first, going a little bit about what student life is like, and then we'll address some of the submitted questions, and then they're also going to be submitting some questions in the chat. So my first question for you that is very program-specific is, can you tell me what some of your favorite classes are and why? So Catherine, would you like to go first?
Yeah, for sure. I would say, I mean, there are a bunch of great options, which is what I love most about Buffalo is the amount of different electives that you can take. My favorite elective I took last semester was actually a consumer behavior course. And it's kind of cool because what I liked is that it wasn't necessarily as analytics focused, even though we are all MSBA students. Consumer behavior course focused a lot on like the psychology piece, especially of marketing. And then I don't know, the whole course really allowed me to think more creatively. And we did a lot of group projects. It was super interesting. And just one other thing that I would like to highlight is with the electives option within the MSBA program, you can choose a certain type of pathway or like a thing you can focus on. So there's like marketing analytics, supply chain analytics, or healthcare analytics. So if you're interested in any of those, then you can take courses that are specific to that area. So I am specifically doing marketing analytics. That's why I think consumer behavior was my favorite course.
All right, excellent. Badha?
Oh yeah, thanks a lot, Miller. What I personally liked the most was data warehousing class last semester with Professor Dominic. And believe it or not, I'm not just one person who will just focus on non-technical things. I also like to get technical, and I loved that particular course because it was like so deeply engaged with all the technical concepts which are prevailing right now with the data engineering and data analytics, and as well as like it will give you the real life scenario of like taking you through the cases of individual companies and gives you an overview of what is happening right now out there in the market. And there, believe it or not, there were MBA students with us who were also keenly interested in those kind of classes, and trust me, you can take any pathway that you would like to choose over here in MSB.
Excellent. Another common question that we get from our prospective students is how do the faculty and resources in the MSBA program support your academic and professional development? So, Catherine?
For sure. Madhav spoke on this earlier a little bit. Well, he mentioned Dominic Salito, who's like the head of the MSBA program, and I would just like to shout him out. He's one of the best people that I've met here within the program, and I actually had a class with him. I also took data warehousing. Super interesting. One of the things that I went to with Dom was I ended up getting an internship with a company called Odoo during the semester last year. And before I had the interview, I was super nervous because I never really done a I never done like a super professional internship before. So I ended up going to Dom. He helped prep me with like specific questions and stuff like that. I also went to the Career Resource Center that we have. I've met with them about 2 to 3 times. I've done a lot of resume editing. They've helped me start with the job search process. And then just everybody in the program is super great, especially with, like I said, the Career Resource Center professors as a whole. They're really great with answering questions and just supporting you, not within like the class environment. So what I've said, those people I would like to shout out. They were great. So a lot of support.
Excellent. Okay, we're just gonna get Mahad back on. He had a little bit of a technical issue, which is totally fine. That happens. All right, there he
My
is.
apologies. With my private classes, I think you had the question about like professor, which about the professors whom you can reach out to. Like,
Yes.
trust
Yep.
me, like there are professors with the specialties and general, they are generalists as well. Like if you have any question about anything, even if it is outside of the course that they are teaching in, you can reach out to them and ask them whatever the path that you want to pursue. That you may ask them like, okay, this concept actually overlaps with my specialty in this. How can I pursue this? And they'll be open to answer any of your questions, and they will guide you in the right direction. Okay, that these are the professors you might want to reach out to, or these are the things that you can do, and they will help you identify the online resources or the university resources in whatever capacity they can. I'm Whatever the kind of question that you have, any professor, please feel free to reach out to them.
Excellent. So our next question is probably one of my favorites, which is, can you guys discuss any certifications or real-world projects that you've undertaken as part of the MBA program and what that impact is and what it's been on your learning experience? Catherine?
Sure. I mentioned earlier, I think we both took this course actually, is the data warehousing course. And part of that course was for a grade, we would do or complete certain digital badges online. So some of the digital badges that I ended up doing was one in Snowflake. I did a Google Analytics one. And then I also did a couple different Tableau ones. So it's not just all data visualization. It's not all data warehousing. You really get a wide variety of different certifications. I also know for my courses, this semester, I will also be taking, I think, a Google Analytics certification at the end of it, because I'm doing, again, like I said, more of that marketing route. Another thing that I'm starting this semester, which is a requirement of the program, is a practicum course. So there were a couple different pathways that you could take. The pathway that I ended up doing is I'll be working with a company. It's going to be a local Buffalo news group. And my project is specifically going to be analyzing like the viewership data for viewers in Canada. So I don't have much to speak on it because we're just starting it now, but I'm really excited. I'll be working with a couple other students. We're actually working with Buffalo alumni. So that's just like a really cool project that I'm excited to get started. And it's going to be super beneficial when I'm applying for jobs within the next upcoming months to just have that real world experience to talk on. So, yeah.
Excellent. Great. Madhav, can you talk a little bit about your experiences?
I already have 5 years of experience in data analytics, and I've used most of the big tech out there. And let me give you two specific examples over here. Once I arrived in University of Buffalo last semester, I took predictive analytics and data warehousing. The concepts were entirely different. One is more focused on doing the data transformation, data engineering. Other is more focused on doing the data science part of it. During my break, actually, I was so engrossed in it, I actually combined both of them and designed my own particular project, which was end to end, which I learned from both of those subjects. This was something that I was interested in, and I pulled it off like just doing it by myself. Okay. So you can learn anything, you can combine them and get the guidance from the professors how to do those things. On top of that, second thing that what I'm doing right now is like I'm part of the School of Management, UB Foundation, where we are helping out the local businesses out there. One of the companies that I'm working with is Dalex Roofing, where they will give us their CRM data, sales data, and we'll be actually using it to give them the insights on their historical trends and all those things. And recently we just delivered one of those dashboards and like they could interact with, and they really loved it. They'll be using it to drive their revenue over here in Buffalo for their roofing business. And I can go on and talk a lot about so many things that I have done, but I would just highlight these two which I have used it right now recently. And there are many things. These are just two examples. Trust me, I've done 10 tons of those things.
Catherine, we're going to shift over and talk a little bit about student life questions. So can you talk a little bit about what some of your favorite things to do around campus and in Buffalo are?
Yeah, for sure. So, around campus, one of my favorite things, I think it's where Nav is right now, is like the graduate student lounge or just the whole School of Management building itself. That's where most of my classes are. So it's really great. There's like a Tim Hortons in there, and then there's a bunch of different tables. So between classes, I'll always just go and hang out there with my friends. We'll always try to get some homework done. Obviously, we get a little distracted, but it's a bunch of fun. As far as like the Buffalo area, since I was new to it, the MSBA program starts in the summer. And during the summer, you only take about 2 courses. That's what I did. And it's really nice because they really want to emphasize you getting the chance to kind of explore Buffalo. There's a lot of great websites. That UB posts for things to do around the area, a bunch of different restaurants to eat at. Actually, tonight I'm going with some of my class friends. We're doing a trivia at some local restaurant, so we're excited for that. I don't know if you guys are football fans. I was not coming into Buffalo, but you kind of get forced into being a Buffalo Bills fan, so I'd recommend going to at least some of the sports games. But yeah, just definitely going around in the area and not just sticking to like the North Campus area. There's so much to see in Buffalo and so much to do. I would also talk to your fellow students and talk to your professors. That's always like a great sort of like leeway into starting conversations, is where should I check out? So yeah.
Excellent. So, Manav, the question was, what are some of your favorite things to do around campus and in Buffalo?
Okay, the things that I would start with in campus. Okay, I'm a kind of a person who likes to engage in so many events, but there are so many you can choose only few of them. So yeah, I'm particularly involved in entrepreneurship club over here. So you would see me a lot participating over there. There are so many events. In fact, there is an app Cork over here where you can just spot all the events which are happening around the campus, and you can just go on and choose. Uh, uh, if I'm pretty sure that one of the classes that you would take would be with Professor Gaia. Every class, every morning, she would come in and she will let you know about all the events which are happening in and around Buffalo. And she will let you know like what is happening during this week and over the weekend, and you can just go and check it out. Trust me, these are professors who will let you know like, please go out, see those things, and you would have a lot of fun.
Excellent. Very good. So the final question I have for you guys before we get to the submitted questions is, what advice would you give to incoming students to really make the most of their time in the program, both academically and socially? Catherine, you can start off this one off.
For sure. So I'll start off with my academic advice. I have a couple things written down. The biggest thing is when you're picking out your coursework, I would try to read the course description and try to take courses in skills that you might not necessarily have. So you're going to have people coming into this program with like 5 to 10 years of data analytics experience, but maybe they don't have that consumer behavior or psychology aspect. But then one of my best friends in the program, she came in with no coding experience at all. So she's going to try to take courses that are more focused on R, or we learned like orange data mining. So definitely be very wary and just take a lot of time into reading the different courses and seeing what would be the best fit for you and for what's going to benefit you the most for your career after this. My second piece of advice is don't get stressed out about grades. It's really hard. I'm a person who always like, I want straight A's, I want that 4.0, but you know what? Life happens. And as long as you're taking the skills and the lessons away from this program, that's going to benefit you more. And lastly, really, really, really try to participate in group projects as best you can. Life gets busy. People all have different experiences and different knowledge level, but as long as you can try to contribute as best as you can, you're going to be doing a lot of group projects, and you'll get the most out of this program if you're participating pretty heavy in them. As far as socially, this is something I think we're all trying to work on, but really try to network outside of your program. I've made a ton of friends that are MBA students, that are MIS students, and then also obviously students who are MSBA students. You don't want to be closed off with your specific program because all of our classes overlap. I can't think of one class that I have right now that's just all MSBA students. So really try to network with them. Everybody's coming from a different background. Everybody has different experience levels. Network with them on LinkedIn, talk to them at different events. So socially, that would be the best advice that I could give.
Excellent. Yeah. And when it comes to picking out your classes too, that's where your academic advisor comes into play as well. If you're wanting to look at the Career Resource Center, which is just for UB School of Management folks, they can help you kind of figure out what's going to be the best track for you. So keep that in mind too. Kind of goes back to the question about resources. So definitely take advantage of those. But what would you say some advice would be for incoming students?
Well, I'm sorry, Catherine has covered most of those things already. But really be focused on what you want to do. You will have 11 months and there'll be a bunch of courses to choose from. And even during trust me, even during the entire workload that you are going through and you want to pivot from that, please feel free. All of the skills are overlapping. You don't have to just bound yourself with just one of those things that, okay, I'm only interested in this. Please be flexible, learn as many things as possible. You won't get this time again. These 11 months, after that, you could be anywhere, but those 11 months, you will learn a lot and focus on those things, what you want to learn. Get as many details, learn as many things as possible. And to do that, you have to really manage your time really well. I know Catherine personally, she has entire scheduled in color coded in her notebook. And these are the kind of things that you are supposed to do as well. Have a calendar, have a notebook, be prepared to do those things, plan in advance, and that you can succeed and know what you want to do and pivot from anywhere you want to go. I'm sure all those skills that you will learn from those would help you achieve all the things that you want to do.
All right, excellent. So moving on to some of the submitted questions that we had during registration. Actually, Meg, can you put in the link to the campus living just so that people have that in the chat?
Yeah.
Thank you. So there's some questions about just like housing near campus. So do you have any advice on, aside from using the campus living folks, any advice on housing or anything like that?
Personally for me, I live about like 20 minutes away from campus. It's more doable for me because I do have a car, thankfully, so I've been able to drive. But even for students that don't have cars, I know that the bus system, what I've heard from it, it works really well. It's very reliable. And there's buses all the way going down to more of like the South Campus area and then also near the North Campus. As far as for like finding apartments, I found mine on Facebook Marketplace. I don't know. So always be on the lookout there. But yeah, I would definitely check out that link too. But that was my personal experience. So I don't know. I think my dog might be jumping back in. I'm not sure where he lives right now.
Okay, I live really close to North Campus. That was my personal choice because I would like to optimize my time to how much time I travel back and forth to the campus. Some students might choose to live near the South Campus because they like the lifestyle which is over there, and there are so many things to do over there in South Campus. And there is, like as she mentioned, there is a Stampede bus which can take you through and from within like 10 minutes from the South Campus to the North Campus. You can choose anywhere you want to live in, and there are resources over here in the from the college that you can reach out to and then get to know about them. You can check it out on Facebook. There are so many places you can find out, right? And on the university resources, as well as Facebook, marketplaces, and obviously, a few of the alumni you can reach out to know more about it.
If you go to the UB School of Management Instagram page, they're always highlighting different students and all their information, their LinkedIn. I've gotten actually like a few messages over LinkedIn, so don't feel like you're just like secluded to that specific platform.
Yeah, so actually Catherine brings up a good point. So the Unibuddy is really more for prospective students. So you'll see them kind of, when you go to our webpage, you'll see our ambassadors kind of pop up in the corner. You can reach out to them that way. If you're an admitted student, that's where you switch over to Matters Most. And that's kind of cool because that's just for admitted students within the MSBA program. And you guys get a lot of times from there. WhatsApp groups are formed by the students, and then you guys can talk about housing. You can talk about anything that you have, questions about Buffalo, and that's more of a student-run piece. So definitely encourage you to engage with our ambassadors when it comes to things like housing, of course, along with the university resources. Other than that, Meg, do we have anything in the chat as far as questions go for our panelists?
Yes. Okay, so let's start with, I know you guys talked a little bit about this earlier, but how technical are the courses, would you say? For most of them, are you going to be diving into the technical side, or is it kind of a mix? I know you said that looking at the descriptions can help kind of figure this out, but would love to hear from you guys as well.
I would say straight from the beginning, it's very basic. But also basic, not in the terms of like, if you do have a lot of experience, it's not like it's not going to be worth your time. So I would say, especially over the summer courses, we did VBA, and then we also dove into R a little bit with another one of our core courses, which is predictive analytics. There were a couple different options. So one section did R, and then the other section did orange data mining, which is a little bit more like point and click programming, and R is definitely more of like actually writing out the language. But yeah, so it's really kind of all over the place and really varying. But if you don't have a lot of experience, do not be scared. Also, the professors, like we've said before, are super great about answering questions on office hours and also just collaborating with the other students. There's rarely going to be a project that you're doing all on your own. So being able to talk to them and learning from them is going to be a huge piece for you.
And Mahtab, can you speak a little bit, because you have some work experience in regards to analytics. So kind of from your perspective, how did you feel that the coursework was coming in?
Any of the course that you would take in over here would be as technical as you want it to be. The course details and all those difficulty levels are only in your head. The assignments or all the course curriculum that you will go through in the class, you won't even realize they are so simple by the time you will go through those classes, and you will be actually be one of those excellent students who will be throughout consistently acing it. And trust me, those concepts out there, when you will go out there in the market, they will seem way too technical to the people out there, but when you will be in the class, they will not seem technical at all. So it's totally up to you how much technical you want it to be, and you can ask as questions as possible to the professors over here, and they will actually guide you to the advanced level of technical details as well. And obviously other students are out there, engage with them. Trust me, you will get to know a lot more from them.
I just want to point out really quickly. I'm in a class right now, actually, where we're for different like case projects, we are sort of given a problem, and then it's up to us choosing what sort of tool we would like to solve that problem with. So say you're not as technically involved, then there's some groups that are going to do their entire project on Excel. But say you have a lot of students coming in with Python or R background, they have the option to do that project in Python or R. So I've rarely had a class where you have to stick with one specific tool. It's usually up to the student and up to what they're comfortable with. So just to point that out.
We have, I'm skipping over a few that we've already covered. The next one is, I don't know if either of you have taken this course, but could you please throw some light on the sports analytics elective?
I'm currently not in that course, but I have actually talked to my friends that are in that course right now. I'm pretty sure it's being co-taught by Professor Joanna Gaia, who we've mentioned before. She does a lot of the stats and predictive analytics. And then it's actually also taught by a business analyst from the Buffalo Bills. So that's really cool. He's going to be coming in and speaking sort of on like his day-to-day role, what he does. I know there's going to be, what I've heard is there's a couple different of like group projects and also just like group papers. I heard like some of the topics, honestly, that they're talking about is like sports betting, and then also just like probably a little bit more of like the sports marketing piece of it too. So it's kind of all over the place in the class, but it's like it's really cool from what I've heard. I'm kind of jealous that I'm not in it this semester.
I will concur to that. I also missed the bus on that particular subject. The students whom I have heard about, it's super amazing. They were surprised that they would get to know so much about how sports analytics is actually used in those teams. And the moment I got to know, I was really jealous. But at the same time, we also have so many courses to choose from. There is so much you can do. You can do social network analytics. You can do digital marketing analytics. You can do business forecasting. You can do these courses. There are financial analytics, but you have to be really focused, right? What do you want to do? Just like Catherine is focused on marketing, I am focused more on product and marketing mix of that. So there are things that you have to choose from. So, and at the same time, if you don't want to be a specialist and want to be journalist, go ahead, do as many things as possible. The sky's the limit.
So it says if we select an elective, is it set in stone or do we have a flexibility of switching at an early stage?
So I think that's referring to maybe drop add. So when you are registering for classes, is it a week that you have to drop and add a class if you wanted to? Maybe you guys can talk a little bit about that.
I'm pretty sure it's like between a week and 2 weeks. I think 2 weeks might be the maximum amount of time, but I know, right? I think it might have ended last week for us. So I think that would be like a week and a half for us, but we're still having like students switch in and out of courses. And it's really easy to do. So don't like be panicked about it at all. I haven't had any issues with it before. So
Manhav, do you have any comments on that question?
What I remember is a few of the students over here last semester as well as this semester's they were a semester they didn't like one particular subject or two of their subjects and they were like, okay, I want to try something else. They attended those classes and they were really interested in them. So they were able to switch back the courses, get to know what they really like, as well as like they were able to pivot whatever they were doing before. And this is you might feel it is ridiculous, but it's really common. You will find that classes are full. A lot of students are actually going into those classes, and you won't find a seat. But later on, you might be able to because somebody dropped out of that, and you can just check it out and just do those classes.
There's one more question that came through as a direct message. So I'll just read that out to you as well. It says, does the program follow a modular learning style or is it more of a conventional learning style? So I guess for most of your classes, are you finding that you're going through the content in modules?
yeah, from my experiences with classes, usually it's like week by week, we're sort of hitting like a new chapter. We usually have like a textbook that we don't follow to the T, but it's more of like a thing for guidance. So I would say each week we're usually focusing on a new topic. I haven't had a class yet where I don't think it's as modular, but Madhav, maybe you could speak on it a bit more.
All of the classes would have set structure. Every semester, the faculty would let you know about the what you will go through at the beginning of the semester itself, and every week there'll be set of topics which will be covered, and you will have an assignment based on that with your group of the students, and you will be actually doing not only learning about those concepts in the class, doing it on in person, hands-on practice, and then immediately applying it into one of those case studies which will be shared with you. So it's really dynamic as well as structured.
Okay, excellent. So there's another question here. Do either one of you have an on-campus job?
I do have on-campus job. I'm working at Professor Kripsky over here. Recently, just last semester, we started this School of Management Fast Clinic where we are helping out the local companies over here.
Mhm.
And I'm part of that particular cohort as of now, and we are a team which is helping out the local companies with their data, and we are helping them with their operations and strategy as well. So this is one of the on-campus job. Catherine, I guess you are part of one of the on-campus job. Please tell more about it.
Yeah, so mine is actually, it's funny that you mentioned Fast Clinic because mine's the UB Fast Clinic in working with Odoo. So it is for me, it's pretty cool because I get to go into the office downtown 3 times a week. And the 4 other students that I'm interning with, they're international students as well. So we all go together downtown, and I found out through that job through an email. I forgot who sent it to me, but it was like there's a bunch of like email blasts that go out to MSBA and MIS students. So when you keep on top of that, it's really easy to like apply for them. So I think somebody in the chat might have said, is it hard to do? I don't think so at all. The application process was super easy, and then I don't know, the interview process was super easy as well. And as long as like finding that out, as long as you're like keeping track of your emails, and then also BizLink, I know, is also a great place to check out for internships and jobs, and then along with Handshake, those might be correlated. I think they're different.
Yeah, and actually for those folks, if you get admitted, there will be a portion on your admitted student portal that has a whole section on applying for jobs on campus. So that'll be an opportunity for you, again, once if you've been admitted. There was another question that came through here about internships. So something really important with this program, the MS Business Analytics program does not offer internships. It's, as our students mentioned, it's an 11-month program. It starts in the summer. There is no time for an internship. What you guys do instead is your MSBA practicum, which is that kind of real world experience that's built into the curriculum. But you can also see that our students have gotten jobs on campus. They're involved on campus to kind of really utilize their 11 months here. Do you guys have anything you want to add to that piece about not having an internship, or how you utilize the resources without one?
Sure. I'll speak more on like the practicum thing. What's really great is there's 3 different options for the practicum. So there's an individual project that you can basically choose your own data set, choose what you want to focus on, and choose what you're passionate about. And then you can build sort of predictive model or maybe like a dashboard. So that's super cool. It's easily you could put on your resume. Again, what I'm going to be doing with is it's not an internship because I'm not working for the company, but I'll also be but we're working alongside the company using their data. And doing a project for them that hopefully they could use by the time May rolls around. And then I think the last part was more of it's more of a traveling / networking of thing. You go to Boston, I'm pretty sure, and you can speak to Buffalo alumni there, see their different experiences. So those are the 3 different practicum options, which are really cool. And I'm excited to sort of see how all my friends, what they end up doing, because we're all kind of doing different things. Manav, I don't know which one you're doing, so if you want to speak on your.
Thank you, Catherine. There are so many options to choose from, but you have to be really sure what you want to pursue in MS Practicum, because that's what you're passionate about. For example, if I'm passionate about product and building something and then starting from scratch, and at the same time I'm interested in data, creating something really unique, I'm pursuing that, right? So I am in touch with Professor Dominic, who would guide you, who is guiding me. I'm not just doing one particular uh, project which is just which I'm interested in with my own data set, but I'm also getting the experience from the requirements and like all those different things that I can combine and just put something out there which people can actually use, right? So it's something that I'm passionate about, and it still aligns with what is required out there. So it's totally up to you what you want to pursue in MS Practicum. If I'm not wrong, you have to be practical and make sure that whatever you're doing is that aligns with what you want to do in future. And you will still have 3.5 months to complete this particular MS Practicum project. So in the middle of the semester, also, if you feel like, okay, this is not something that I'm really interested about, you will have a deadline of 1.5 months to actually decide on what you want to do. Right? In between, you can continue to discuss and explore what you want to do, and still pivot in the middle and choose something else and pursue that. So utilize your time really well and do what you really want to do.
We have time for one more question. So let me just grab the one that was just submitted that I thought was a pretty good one. So one of the questions that was submitted was, how many hours of classes do you guys have on average on a daily basis?
I can give you a quick rundown of my schedule really quickly, I guess. So Mondays, I have classes from about 2 to 9 p.m. straight. Tuesdays, I have off. And then Wednesday, I'm from around like 2 to 3:20 and then 5 to 6:20. And then Thursdays, I just have one class from 6 to 9:30. So I have Tuesdays and Fridays off of classes. I built my schedule that way. And then also, yeah, so I guess that's it. You can really build your schedule however you want. I like to kind of have the back-to-back classes. It's easier for me since I do commute to campus. I'm not doing a bunch of back and forth, and I kind of like to just knock it all off at once. I've never felt super overwhelmed with the hours of classes. I would just like to throw that out there. So
Excellent. Manal, how about yourself?
I'm on the opposite spectrum of how Catherine works, because I like to have my classes spread out and have in between time to actually grasp all the details that I have learned from my class and use them. And in between that time, I actually utilize to do other things that I want to do. But one thing that I still do, which is closely aligned with what Catherine does, is build my schedule on my own. I'll have all those things added to my calendar in between time. Whatever I want to do, those will be noted down. So for my Monday, the class starts at 8 a.m. early in the morning. And then next class I would have is from 2 to 3:30. And the next class I would have is from 6 to 9:30. It's spread an entire day. And in between those classes, I actually do my part-time job as well as the assignments or whatever that I want to do. I allocate my time that way. On Tuesday and Thursday, I have only one class, 5 to 6:30. And Wednesday, I have a class at 8, again, 8 to 9:30, and then 2 to 3:30. And Friday is off. So I like to have my schedule spreaded and stuff the things in between, and then I can commute to my like where I stay really fast. So it's just 10 minutes walk from here. So I like to have it spreaded. I'm on the opposite spectrum of how Catherine works, but both of us will have our schedule built and things would be noted down that what I want to do on that particular day.
That's great. That's wonderful that you can have a different variety of schedules. So I'm really glad that question was asked. You guys were able to answer that. Unfortunately, that is all the time that we have today. But for those of you who may have additional questions, feel free to reach out to me. RebeccaO.buffalo.edu is my email address. If you've got questions for our wonderful panel, send them over to me and I'll get them to you guys or get them to our panelists here. You guys have some great questions, and I cannot thank our students enough for taking time out of their very busy and hectic schedules to talk to you guys a little bit today. So, Madhav and Catherine, thank you so much once again. Everyone else, you are free to log on. So thank you so much, everyone.